ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good start to your weekend and that your week was good as well. So I can see you guys in the live chat room already. Let's do an early live stream shout out. In there we have it's moving too quickly now. PM1123, Karen, Totoro Porco, Billy Rowe, Hillary, Bob, Mark, Peridot, is that? Paulie, Howard is in there as well. Hello everybody. I might have to move a bit further down. So and it's still moving too quickly. Pamela and Karen and Elisa in there. Mimi3212 as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. So lots of names going through very quickly. And this is only the top chat. So it's not even the live chat. So I think with the top chat, some stuff gets cut out or it doesn't show all of the comments. But a bit of a rush at the beginning of the live stream, which is great to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I mean, while there are a lot of people there, if you could hit the thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be great. We'll see if we can get a record spike of the likes going on as soon as we start. And we will see what happens with the likeometer, which we'll get on screen in a second. First of all, I need to get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this possible and everything that I do on the channel. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And I always say that they're the foundation of everything that I do, which is absolutely true. And it's great to have all of your support. I will get the likes goal up on screen as well, because as with all of the live streams, if we do hit a likes goal, it means that we bust out the guitar and have a jam and see what happens. So tonight we are aiming for 350 likes, and then if we hit the target, we'll have fill jam number 306. So if you could hit the thumbs up, that would be great. Let's get the likeometer up on screen to see that we are currently at 185 likes, which means looking for 165? I think that might be correct, 165. I'm just going to go with that. I think after the epic fail that I had last time on the live stream, trying to figure out how many we needed, I think that was the correct number. But I never really know. Just my brain throws a number at me and it's either right or wrong. But if we do get to 200, it makes it a lot easier to work out. So I think, maybe I was close, because now it'll be 156. Whenever we are close to 200 at the beginning of the live stream, and we've now passed 200, it's always a good sign. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And the last thing that we get up on screen is the donations tab, because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. I think for those people that can't resist donating, it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yes, just maybe leaving a comment and a thumbs up. It is great. No need to donate for anything on the channel, including analysis videos. Just send your request through to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. That's the place to send them to. I do get a lot of emails through to the business email, and of course with that it means that I can't really get through those, because really the requests email is what I'm looking at and why I set that up, so that there's one place where all of the requests come through, rather than having, which happened in the past and it still does happen, I get requests from all over the place. With like Instagram as well, and the business email, and I don't know how I did used to keep on track or keep on top of all of it, but certainly now it has become impossible to keep on top of all of it. So requests has its own email. Right, now we are with tonight just doing everything as normal. We have the vote and we have had some donations, so thank you guys for those, and I will just jump into the super chat window had a couple of donations in there, and a few over on PayPal as well. So thank you for those. We have the vote at the top of the live chat room as well. And yeah, the likeometer does disappear on screen when we have a look at the super chat window. So that's why that's just disappeared temporarily. But yeah, tonight's vote is between Iris and Is This Love? So whichever one of those songs you want to hear my version of, then you can click on that at the top of the live chat room. So just quickly jumping into the super chat window, we'll jump in there first. Paul has donated $5.20. Aha! Now I can see the link, because Paul says, here we are, 520,000 subscribers. Most excellent, all y'all. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And yeah, the reason that I smile about this is because yesterday, i.e. the 20th of February, we managed to get up to 520,000 subscribers, which was amazing, because after, I think I'm just going to refer to it as AV, because AV can mean lots of different things, such as, you know, AV leads and the AV option on your TV, or on your, I don't know, you might have it on your car stereo, the way that you can have an input that refers to that and not what I'm using it for, which is referring to my other project. But the reason that I don't want to mention it is because as soon as I mention it, I'm sure that there must be some kind of trigger that gets set off so it knows when I'm talking about this other project, side project that I've got going on. So I'm just going to refer to it as AV, and anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about can ask everybody in the live chat room, because yeah, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the reason that I gave that smile at 520,000 subscribers was because we've been on 519,000 subscribers for what is almost 3 weeks, and that is following my mentioning of that side project. So it means that the brakes were just put on my channel. The only other time that it has happened like this was back in February, at the end of February. The channel again ground to a halt, and guess what I mentioned then? So yeah, that was the problem. And this particular halt was because I did release a few videos, and you guys will know that I made a video in collaboration with vocal coaches, and we had just totally natural vocal performances, and I made a video about that. As soon as I did that, that was a very bad move. Everything, yeah, really started to slow down. So yeah, it then got to a point where, yeah, at the beginning of Feb, we were at 519,000 subscribers, and yet now it's taken this long to get to 1,000, and should I say like 520,000, just getting 1,000 more. And normally it would take, I don't know, about a week, something like that. But yeah, it just was YouTube being, I don't know, being what it is, and what the algorithm, I guess, is designed to do, to safeguard YouTube's interest and the agreement that they have with major record labels. So yeah, but we did get here in the end, so that is great. I'm just going to check as well. I'm going to do this on my phone, because I did say that it took, I don't know how long it was, maybe about 7 days to get 100 subscribers, something like that. And now, we've gone up by 139 since yesterday. So it's a relatively positive sign. But what's so weird about it is how instant the changes. It's almost like from yesterday and now into today, the algorithm has forgotten, or its attention's been put elsewhere. So now it's allowing my channel to move again, and people are subscribing, and YouTube aren't unsubscribing them as soon as they subscribe, because believe it or not, that's what was happening. And we know that because the last live stream where people were commenting saying that they were unsubscribed, but they know that they're subscribed to the channel. So yeah, it's just something weird that was going on, and hopefully the algorithm is going to leave the channel alone for a while. But I know that it means that I can't mention that side project, so I'm gonna have to think of another way to get the word around about my other project, which I'm calling AV, so it doesn't get flagged. But I think it's just going to be word of mouth. That's the way to do it, because when I was setting it up, I don't think I ever envisaged, that is a word, that it would be something that would be blocked and it wouldn't be allowed to get shared around on the internet in the normal way, or at least the way that you've become used to with YouTube, for example. So yeah, it's just going to mean that I have to figure things out a different way, and it's going to have to be more of an old school organic way of spreading the word about it, and not being able to rely on YouTube, which is a shame because YouTube is such a huge outlet, and especially for me with the amount of subscribers that I've got on this channel, then trying to tell people about that other channel, telling people about it is not so good for this channel. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the future with that. But very much this year I'm going to be trying to figure it out, figure out what I can do to circumnavigate this particular wall that's been put in the way. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Paul. And I did change this. Here we go. 520,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you everyone for subscribing, and thank you for subscribing and then checking that you are still subscribed, so that we know that when you get unsubscribed, then you can subscribe again. But like I said, it just seems a bit random. I get this off screen. It seems a bit random that all of a sudden in a day, and nothing's happened on the channel, and I haven't suddenly been on national TV like yesterday, or I haven't been on the radio or interviewed or anything like that. So this sudden change, like all of the figures are exactly the same as they normally are, but all of a sudden I've now had over 130 subscribers in about 24 hours, whereas it took about a week or more to get to that point previously. So it is like, that wall's kind of been removed, but we'll see if it gets put in front of us again. As I always say, I'll just keep on doing what I do. It's just I guess just collateral damage for the type of videos that I'm making, but not even the type of videos I'm making, just what I'm pointing out. That's what it is. The things that I'm pointing out are things that a lot of people don't want to be on the industry side of things. They don't want for those things to be pointed out, whereas I know that the general public do want these things to be common knowledge and to know exactly what they're watching. But anyway, thank you Orlando as well, who's donated $2 and says, let's get rocked. Def Leppard, hit that thumbs up. So thank you for that. And let's jump over to the PayPal window. And it's Bryony who donated £5, so thank you for that. And that was a straight up donation. Nicole donated £20 as well, so thank you for that, Nicole. And the message was, hi Phil, you came to my country, France, to see Kip Wingers in Paris. It's a good French moment, ? Thanks for the answer. So thank you for that. Yes, it was myself and Griff, Andrew Griffiths, who was my second guitarist in the band, and we're both Winger fans, so we went to see Winger in France, but I don't know whether it counts as being in France, because it's a bit weird. It definitely counts. It was in France, but the reason I say that is because it was on a boat, and I think it might be the only gig I've been to that was on a boat. And yeah, it's really, really weird in a way. So yeah, it was a nice trip. I don't speak a lot of French, but yeah, we got there, and we then, I remember what we did. We got a hotel room, and then we thought, okay, right, well, let's see how far the venue is from where we are, because we thought, first mistake, on the map it looked close, but I think we must have been zoomed out quite a lot. So on the map, so we thought, I'll tell you what, before actually going to the gig tonight, because we're just wasting time really, because we might have arrived there maybe lunchtime, afternoon, and the gig was probably about 9 in the evening, obviously. So we had a lot of time to kill, so we thought, right, well, let's just walk to the venue. We didn't actually know it was on a boat at that point. So we walked, and then we walked, and then we walked. And what we didn't, certainly I didn't plan for, was the amount of walking that we would be doing. And I had these trainers on that weren't too bad walking normally, but when you walk for, I don't know how, an hour, and it's, on pavements and a bit of a pain, it had a bit of a rub on the back of my kind of Achilles. So when, after about half an hour, I started thinking, these shoes are a bit painful, and it meant that I still had at least half an hour's walk to go. So so we got there. It probably took an hour to walk there, and we thought, well, now we're miles away from our hotel. So then we kind of walked back, because we didn't know France, we didn't really know where we were going. So we had to walk back the route that we knew, or trying to look at Google Maps to try and help us. So we just spent our time walking around. We didn't really do much, just killing time. And I remember that we did have a pizza before we went there. We just went to a restaurant, had a pizza, which was pizza's always good. So went there, watched the gig, which was great. And it was basically on a boat that, on the top of it, it looked quite small, and it didn't look like a very advanced boat. So it's not like a cruise line or anything, or a cruise ship. I don't know. It looked like it wasn't really big enough to have a gig on, because we thought, what's going on here? Because you could kind of walked onto the deck, and what happened was, it was quite long, but the boat was more kind of underground, under sea level. So underneath the boat, you kind of had it like this, and then it hit the water, and then it went out, and it was like that. So it was a lot bigger underneath, and that's where the gig was. That was cool. Obviously, it was more of an intimate gig because of the size of the boat, but it's enjoyable, of course. It's Winger, and we enjoyed the show very much. And then had the massive walk back to the hotel. That was a bit of a pain, literally on the feet, because they were already hurting, but by the time we got to the show. And then when we were getting the Eurostar back to England, that's where we missed the train that we should have got and had to kill even more time, but it was all right because we were just allowed to get the next one. And at that point, that's where we were at Paris Nord. And that's where the Paris Nord song, because we had so much time to kill, we thought, what should we do? And I remember Griff was trying to figure out which mode this particular jingle was for the train, because it always came in with the jingle before the person started talking, and he was trying to figure out what mode it was in, which scale. So he was doing that, and we just kind of had a musical conversation. The reason that I say that Paris Nord came from there is because that little jingle that was happening, Griff said, it'll be great to make a song with this jingle. And the jingle is nothing to do with Paris Nord, the song, because the jingle was something like, dung, 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 dung. It was all a bit weird. So yeah, he thought, oh yeah, dun 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 dun, and he's trying to kind of come up with a song that included that. So yeah, but that idea was put to the side, and then the Paris Nord idea was there, but it wasn't written at Paris Nord, because then it's an idea that we kind of went away with, and then I started thinking about other kind of ideas and things, and I thought, well, that jingle, that's not going to work, so we had to try and come up with something else. And yeah, it's just that little rundown, which is maybe a bit cliche, but I liked it. And yeah, Paris Nord came from there, from just I guess the idea to write something in that, I don't know, in that area of Paris Nord, being in the station, thinking about, right, what could happen in the station. So when people say, oh, was it based on a real person or situation? No, it wasn't. It's very much thinking, well, what could happen in a train station? You could be saying goodbye to someone. So yeah, it all started from there. Anyway, Angela says, how many years ago was that you saw Winger? I have no idea. Is there a picture on Instagram? There might be a picture on Instagram of myself with Kip Winger, and that was taken on the night of that show. So I don't know whether I would have uploaded that to Instagram straight away or not. It might have been delayed, but whatever that says, it was definitely before that. So I have no idea how many years ago that was. It's probably... Where are we? Wow, it's probably 15 years, maybe longer than that. So yeah, a long time ago. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Nicole. And Debbie has donated £15. Thank you for that, Debbie, in the messages. Hi, Phil. Glad to be with you live streaming on a Saturday night. We are preparing for yet another big winter snowstorm on the US East Coast. I enjoyed the recent Journey analysis, but for me, without Steve Perry, it's just not Journey. Laugh out loud. Thanks for all you do. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. Yeah, this was I said in the video, the last time I'm going to be looking at that particular performance, because I made my video and then there were quite a lot of people that had different theories in the not the live chat room, in the comments section, and I then addressed those in a follow-up video to show that no, what I'm saying is true. But again, you've got to kind of go through these theories to see if they have any weight or not, carry any weight. So then the last video was just because a few people sent me this other footage, which it was on the behind the scenes footage or documentary that they did, whatever it was, on YouTube, and people said, oh, now it's in sync, so this must be the audio from the performance and not overdubbed like the audio that doesn't fit. So then again, I'm just pointing out that no, it's the same audio, but they've just moved the video footage by placing a cut in where the solo is. It means that they can now move the video and it's not obvious that it's jumped. So yeah, they just moved that video to try and get it to blend a little bit better. But the funny thing is, of course, the people that haven't seen the first video or the second video are commenting on this third video, not knowing that I've been through everything. I've addressed every single possible theory that people have come up with. And then in the third video, somebody said, I don't think that he's pretending to play because Neil Sean wouldn't do that. He's too good. So yeah, they're not understanding that it's so beyond up for debate anymore, because it is absolutely an open and shut case. So yeah, for those people that were joining it late, they didn't know there's already been 2 videos on this, and I'm not going to be doing another one. Maybe they'll get suggested the other video, but then I guess with maybe the algorithm, when it's kind of blocking the channel, it's not suggesting your videos to people that are watching your videos, because I think that's something that normally happens with channels. So anyway, yeah, that was interesting. Right, let me just get the like commenters back, because I could jump out of the super chat window, even though I did see that there were a few more donations, and I don't know what it was. Oh, Diane says, really, an ad about getting help for gambling issues. So this is the other thing about adverts. Everyone gets different adverts on YouTube, and whatever you might be looking at, the videos, the algorithm is always storing information. This is why I get adverts for auto-tune, trying to sell me different auto-tune products. And yeah, but believe it or not, because a lot of the sponsorship videos are automated, so they have, I guess, just a script or bots that automatically email large YouTube channels, so they don't see what I'm doing on my channel. I've had multiple requests for working with and making sponsored videos for auto-tune products, saying how their auto-tune is better than this other particular auto-tune, live auto-tune, for example, unit that might be out, and they're wanting me to say about their auto-tune products. So yeah, they don't even watch my channel, and I get lots of those. But this is the point, that because I'm saying that a lot in my videos, then I will get adverts for those products, and it pretty much follows exactly what I'm doing on the channel. So then if I'm making a video about something else, about if I'm mentioning about a guitar effects processor, whatever it might be, then I'll start getting adverts for guitar effects processors. And same thing with guitars or vocals or microphones. YouTube is always listening to either what you're saying, or it's just watching what you're watching, and it's now going to be coming up with adverts that are specific to you. So whatever you're watching, if you think, oh well, this is a bit random, why am I seeing this advert, it is going to be linked to whatever has been watched through that particular YouTube channel, just so you know, because some people think, oh, why am I getting that advert? But there is a reason for it. YouTube is very calculated, the algorithm, as to how it works. So thank you for that, Debbie. And yeah, I hope the weather doesn't get too bad. Here in the UK, it's just been raining. It's just been constantly raining. I mean, not really heavy rain in a short period. It's been just raining constantly for, I don't know how long, maybe a couple of months. Probably January, February, which we're now kind of getting to the end of, and they've said that the rain will be raining until maybe the middle of next month. So the problem that we have is with our rivers, the River Thames especially, that is just getting constant rain. When you get a lot of rain in a short period, then it kind of bursts its banks, and then unfortunately people's houses do get flooded if you're quite close to the river. But then it subsides. But now we're getting this constant rain that's just maintaining this kind of breach of its banks. So it's just kind of staying there, and then it's kind of increasing a little bit more, and then it's staying there, increasing a little bit more and staying there. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm just having a quick listen to see if I can hear outside if it's raining still or not. But it is just this constant rain that sometimes is very light, so you might not even kind of notice it against your windows, but then you'll go out and realise, oh yeah, it is still raining. But this is the UK all over, unfortunately, just a lot of rain. But thankfully now, with the days getting a bit longer, it was getting dark at about 4, maybe half 4, so it looks like nighttime, by the time you get to 5 o'clock. And now I think it's maybe at about 5 or half 5 that we're getting the sun setting, so we're getting a little bit more time of the day, and it's just hopefully it's got to be literally downhill until summer, where it'll in summer it starts getting dark about maybe 8 or 9, so the days are a lot longer. But it's just something to be prepared for in winter. If you do live in England, the days are quite short. So let me just jump into this donation from Kevin for £1. Thank you for that. And the message is, happy belated Pancake Day, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Spike the likes. Thank you for that. And I only found out that it was Pancake Day the day after Pancake Day. So I missed it, which was a bit annoying. But then again, it was a live stream day, and it means that I am preoccupied with doing lots of things and setting up the live stream. So yeah, no Pancake Day this year for me, unfortunately, but I see that as a positive because it is probably a bit unhealthy, and it just means that I can look forward to next year's. But yeah, thank you for that, Kevin. And Lynn's donated £75, so thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, thanks for all you do. Unfortunate to hear about Sir Paul. Maybe he is not aware of what's being done to his live vocal. I sure hope so, Lynn. So thank you for that. And yeah, this was something that is difficult for me to get my head around. I guess as an artist, but a producer as well. Having that hat on, you think, how can you listen to that and think, whoa, yeah, that's great. That vocal that I've just edited and calibrated to A440, it sounds really good. I don't know, how you can ever do that. But it might just be the case that Sir Paul isn't aware of it. He's not checking the audio uploaded to his own official channel. I mean, I'm sure that he just has people that just do it all for him, and he's totally oblivious to anything that's going on. He just plays his show and then he goes home and he doesn't do anything about it, doesn't even watch it back, and he's blissfully unaware of what they're doing in the studio then with that particular performance that he's just done. When they're uploading it as the official audio, he doesn't know that they're changing it all, and they're making him sound like some kind of cyborg Sir Paul McCartney. But yeah, it's a shame that it's so heavy-handed with that application. But the only thing is, and it might just be the case that they've been given this project and they say, right, this is Sir Paul McCartney's live performance of Live and Let Die, as it was in that case, and we're going to be uploading this to the official YouTube channel. So it means it's going to get a lot of views. So here's the project, you work on that, and then give it back to us, we'll release it on the channel. And it might be the case that they're not invested, they don't have any personal investment in the project, i.e. they don't really care what it sounds like. They might not even be Sir Paul McCartney fans, or Beatles fans, or fans of anything that he's ever done. So they get this as a project and think, right, if you double click on a vocal, Melodyne will now calibrate that to A440. So it means that they could go through the whole song and do it in 5 minutes. Maybe not even that, just double clicking on the vocals. Every single note that's hit, just double click, double click, double click, double click. And that means that they've done it in 5 minutes. It doesn't sound very good, but they don't really care. And they've done their job. I don't know how much they would be getting paid for that, but I can imagine it's not going to be peanuts that, these kind of projects that producers are asked to work on. And just for a ballpark figure, for a producer working on a very successful artist's album, it will be in the hundreds of thousands of pounds for that one project, and not the low hundreds of thousands of pounds. It'll be kind of towards the top end, maybe $500,000, maybe more, for working on a project of an artist who's very well known. But for doing this particular thing, a live thing, if it's not going to take them as much time, it means that they're not going to get paid as much, but it's still going to be a significant payment. But I mean, this is just the way the world is. If somebody can get away with doing less work and they're not emotionally invested in what they're producing, then they'll just throw out any old rubbish. If it just something they can do quickly, they don't care about the sound. So they'll double click, done it, right, you give me my payment, thanks. And the people that have asked for it to be done, don't really know how long the process takes. They might have thought the person spent 2 or 3 days, or maybe they did on their invoice say, okay, 3 weeks work of 3 to 4 hours a day, here you go, here's how much it costs. Whereas they might not realize that I could have done that in 5 minutes, and I know I could have done that in 5 minutes, the result that I'm listening to, because it is so badly done. There's no time that's been taken over it, and you can tell that when you listen to it immediately. And the fact that the live vocal wouldn't have needed much manipulation, and I do say in my analysis video that the producer or producers are making fundamentally incorrect decisions, that, like, from a musical standpoint, of removing the lead vocal, leaving everything else tuned and where it was live, but now tuning the lead vocal to A440, which all of this other stuff that was not, like the backing vocals, were not tuned to A440. So it's now out of context, and that's why it sounds so weird, because of Sir Paul McCartney's voice being tuned so heavily but taken out of context for everything that was happening live, which has all been left as it was. It's such a contradiction musically to do that, but that's what's happening. It's a huge shame. So anyway, thank you for that, Lynn. It was a shame, but I'm sure that he's not aware of anything that's going on. Karen's donated £5.60, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 520,000 subscribers. I've noticed in your Phil jams that you use different chord shapes, scales and modes. Have you ever used Locrian mode? Would you mind providing a sample if possible? Many thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And with the Phil jams, and this is very much the point, that I'm trying to, I'm trying to push. The way that I play, and the way that I've played kind of my whole life, is singing through the guitar. So it means that I'm not using, I know that technically people will say, oh, you are using. I'm not using different scales and modes. I'm not. I'm just singing what I'm thinking of and coming up with in my head. Now what happens is, and I mentioned this in the last live stream, where there was a guy who's demonstrating the scale and the mode, and halfway through, even though he's got the reference point of the chord in the background, halfway through he could not remember what the mode was, and he had to stop for a moment. So he couldn't hear what the note was that was part of the mode and the scale that he was demonstrating. And it definitely wasn't the Locrian mode. But forgetting about any kinds of modes, and this is the point, that you could make up, and this is basically what's happened, is with the modes they've made up explanations and words for particular notes that go over the top of particular chords. So you could call anything, any word that you wanted to, but it all comes back to, why does a note work with a particular chord? It's not because it's part of a particular mode, it's because it matches musically. The notes that you'll be playing will be part of that chord, that underlying chord. So you can start to, or even if the chord is not like on guitar, for example, you have less notes going on than you would do if you're playing it on piano, because with piano, obviously you've got 2 hands, you can put more notes in there. But if you're playing a chord on the guitar, it means that particular notes from that scale won't be in there, but you will be able to play those notes if you're playing lead guitar. So when playing the guitar, I very much encourage people to not even worry about learning modes, learning scales. Learn to sing through the instrument, because then you will be playing in every mode, but you won't have to have learned them, because you'll naturally play them. And there are particular modes that are a little bit more out there, and it's a note that or they include notes that you might not necessarily think of, because you think, oh well, that's dissonant. It is something that doesn't really go. It kind of clashes. But then, people will say, oh yeah, it doesn't sound like it goes, and might quite, sound quite bad. But they say, yeah, but the theoretical reason for using it is because of this. But I always come back to, you've got to play stuff that you like the sound of. Because artistically, again, if you're into being original and just playing the way that you want to play, you just want to play stuff that you've got going on in your head. You don't want to play stuff that doesn't go into your head, but you have to look it up and then think, oh, I could do that, because that would be I might not like the sound of it, but it might be quite clever, technically, to throw that in there. So but that's the point, that you will get different kind of modes going on. And Karen says, if I'm not mistaken, Locrian mode is known for its dissonance. Thank you for that. And I think that it's going to be one that is, it's more off the wall than the other ones. And I think probably Ionian is going to be, that's like your major scale and things that, but even still, when you get into playing scales and modes, which they're the same things, you start to sound like you're playing a scale, and that can be the problem. So everyone can learn their scales, learn their modes, and they'll be playing in the major key, and they'll think, right, okay, I'm going to play in this particular mode, and they'll play it, and it will just sound like the major scale, for example. So then you might think, oh well, how can I make this scale sound better? But when you're creating something, when you're singing something, when you're hopefully playing lead on the instrument of your choice, when you're doing that, if you are coming up with your own original melodies, you're never ever trying to get a scale to fit or to sound good. You're just playing what you're playing, and how it sounds is just how it is sounding when you're creating it. So this is it with Aeolian mode as well, which is very much one of those that is used quite a lot. It's going to be more of the kind of natural minor sound, but having notes in there that you might naturally go to. I think it's always better to just go to the notes. Don't try and find modes that have the notes in that you want. Just go straight to the notes and then worry about which modes you're playing later. So I know that a lot of people get confused with modes and scales, and I think if you're trying to think about that, even myself, if you're trying to think about that and play at the same time, it's like you're trying to do maths equations while playing, rather than just doing what you do and playing the notes that you want to play because you're thinking of them. I think a lot of people do have the ability to do that. They've just learned to do it kind of back to front, because a lot of people, well, for example, I always go back to the ultimate test of people knowing how the Happy Birthday song goes. If you know how that goes, then you already know pitches, you know where notes are, you know the relationships between notes, and even if you can't hit the notes accurately vocally, if you can think of what that is, and this is why playing an instrument is a great outlet, because you don't have to be able to sing. You can have notes going off in your head that you know how a song goes because you can hear it in your head. Therefore, you can create things from your head through the guitar, whatever instrument, and you won't ever have to learn a scale. That is it. Like, for anybody watching, if you know how Happy Birthday goes when everyone gets around the cake and sings together, if you know how that goes, how do you know how that goes? And which scale is it in? Which mode is it using? Because people say, well, I don't know, but I know how it goes, which is precisely the point. You've never had to learn the mode or scale of Happy Birthday, but somehow you know it. You know the intervals, and you would have picked a key, and that key will have all of the intervals that your brain has automatically planned out, and it knows where the notes are, and it knows where the notes go higher, it knows where the notes go lower. So, and same thing with national anthems. What key is the national anthem of your country in? How does it go? How do you know that? What mode is that in? Which scale? And do you know the answer? Everybody will say, well, I don't know what it's in, but I know it. Yes, you do. Like, I think everyone has this ability. Some people have, I guess, more of a propensity for it than others, but everyone's got an idea of it, and that's why people know their national anthems, but don't have to read it, don't have to read musical notation from paper. So anyway, yeah, I could talk about this for a long time, but let's move on. But this is the point that, my Phil Jam at the end of the streams are very much about that. I'll read out the YouTube channel and the title of the video, where more often than not they do try to explain which scales and modes to use, but I'm not using any of those modes or thinking about any of that when I'm playing. I'm not even really taking in the key or the key changes, and I'm not looking at the changes because some of them have them all written out, but again, it's too much to have to kind of focus on. It's too much, I don't know, it's not a creative part of the brain if you're trying to read stuff and work it out. I'd rather just listen to it and create sound that goes with whatever I'm hearing, because then, like I said, you don't have to learn anything. And if you don't have to learn anything, that's certainly what I will lean towards. So anyway, Connie's donated £15 as well. Thank you for this. And the message is, if an artist's official channel had live vocals with heavy pitch correction, I probably wouldn't purchase a ticket to see their show. Do you think it's good advertising for their shows? Thanks, Connie. So thank you for that. And this is very much the problem, that people had asked me about Sir Paul McCartney live and that he's using auto-tune. And then I had to say that, well, no, he's not using auto-tune. That was the whole point of that last video. And it means that a lot of people were thinking and maybe questioning whether they should buy tickets or not because they didn't want to hear auto-tune vocals. So anyway, I just saw something go through, and Peridot said, what about people who are tone deaf? And I don't really, I've been teaching guitar for a very long time. I don't really believe in the expression tone deaf because I know that my I don't know, my dad might squirm in his seat hearing it, but he used to say that I was tone deaf when I was younger. And I know because, he used to say it quite a lot, but I didn't really take any attention to it. I thought, oh, okay. But I didn't really understand what that implied. Maybe I was too young to know exactly what it implied. But now I would say that I don't consider myself tone deaf. I know that I can hear pitches accurately, and I know that I can hear things in a lot more detail that other people can hear things, even people in the industry that I've spoken with and spoken about videos with and actually listened to audio with other professionals and singers and producers, and I'm able to pick out things. Like, they would ask me, is this a pitch corrected vocal, is it auto-tune? And then I will be able to tell them yes or no, because I can hear when something's getting calibrated to A440, which means that I can hear pitch very accurately. And then learning to sing as well, but playing guitar for so long, I think if you're just listening to pitches all the time, day in, day out, when you're learning to play the guitar, it can be for 3, 4, 5 hours a day if you are practicing quite a lot. You are constantly teaching your ears where pitch is and how pitch works. And I used to listen to recordings or records and figure them out on the guitar. So I was using my ears to try and kind of decipher that information. So when people say about, what about tone deaf people, I can relate to that personally, because I think, well, I know it's something that gets thrown around, but if I asked someone to impersonate Barry White, what would they do? would they go and go up there? No, they wouldn't. They would make a deep sounding voice, because that's what Barry White's voice had in it. You know, it is very deep. So when talking about pitches, you've just got to relate it to something that people understand. So if you say imitate Barry White, they will naturally go down in pitch. And if I was to say to them, scream or make a noise as if you're scared, nobody is going to go, oh, and do something really low down. A scream is high pitched. That's what it is. So once you have that gauge of knowing what is high, what is low, then you can start to pick out everywhere in between those two extremes, because you just need the two extremes to begin with. And yeah, that's where you would start. So I don't think anybody's tone deaf. You start with your scale. When I say scale, I mean, you know, people understanding, oh, that's a high thing, that's a high sound. But this one down here, that's a low sound. Once you know that, then you can start to learn where your talking voice is. You can, if you're playing an instrument, you can find where your talking voice is on your instrument. If you're going to do a scream, you can find where that is on your instrument. And then you're starting to link what's happening on the instrument to then how you understand sound. And then when you pair those things together, then you can start to create sound and create music yourself, because you understand it. So, Angela says, you seriously believe that people are not tone deaf? All I can refer to is my 20 years of teaching. That if people were tone deaf, if there wasn't a way that they could be taught, then I would have had students. Over the last 20 years, there would have at least been one who I wouldn't have been able to teach because they're tone deaf. So that's never been the case. It's just that they haven't understood sound and they haven't understood pitch. Once you start teaching people how to understand it, and it might take different things for different people to be able to understand it, but once they start to understand, then they learn. And then the more you learn, the better you get at it. And again, giving my example of coming from seeming like I'm tone deaf to then getting to a point where I know that I can hear things in a lot of detail, you think, well, that journey, it's just understanding it and realizing how your brain takes in the information, how your ears take in that information. So, I if somebody says, oh, I'm tone deaf, I would say, well, I bet you I could teach you how to understand sound. Because somebody that's tone deaf, it means that they don't know where they're going. They don't know what anything is. So yeah, I would be able to teach. Given what I've done the last 20 years, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to teach people how to understand sound. But, I can only base it on my own personal experience. So thank you for the donations. Just going to jump into the super chat window, and we are going to be jumping into the cover video very soon because it's midnight already. But Granite Man has donated $2. Thank you for that. And the message is, this current time of music among the worst period. So thank you for that. And Granite Man 62 again, $2 donated. What's your favorite vintage guitar brand or model? And I mean, yeah, when you start talking about vintage guitars, I'm not really, you start talking about a lot of money, first of all, but it's not something that I've particularly got into. I guess, leaning has always been towards practicality and finding a guitar that suits my own physiology, something that I find, regardless of price, really, something that I find easy to play and something that works with the way, the size of my hand, all these things that are so personal. So whenever, I'm thinking about guitars that might have some kind of notoriety or there's some kind of history to them with vintage guitars, I think, well, yeah, all I've done really is just play guitars that I've liked the sound of and the feel of, and I haven't got any vintage guitars. Or I'd say for brands, it probably would be Fender above everything else, just because of Jimi Hendrix. So yeah, the Fender Strat. But then again, do I think, oh, I wish I had a particular year of Fender Strat? I don't ever really think that. It's not something that I've ever really got into. So my Fender Strat is, or my kind of white Fender Strat that isn't here, is an 86. So that's as vintage as I get. And I guess that was still made after I was on this planet, so it wasn't kind of properly vintage. But I didn't get it when I was a kid. Yeah, I got it a lot later on. But yeah, that's the year that it comes from. So thank you for that. Sky Dragon's just donated £2 and says, what percentage of theatre musicals in the UK use auto-tune? That's to my knowledge, none of the musicals that I've seen personally, that I've attended, have been auto-tuned, as in singers using it live. I haven't been asked to look at anything. The only things that I have been asked to look at are post-pitch corrected performances, which are performances used to promote the theatre show, to sell tickets, and they do take the live footage of the performance and then they use Melodyne, they pitch correct the vocal to make it calibrated to A440, which makes it sound a bit weird. But that's the only application that I've seen, so I haven't experienced it in a live setting with live auto-tune, or seen any videos of that with crowd shot footage of the theatre. That's not something that would go down well in a theatre, getting your phone out and holding it up and recording. So that's probably why I haven't been sent anything. But to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything like that yet. Right, we are going to be jumping into the cover video for tonight, and it looks like it's going to be Iris. Let me end the poll, and it is with 54% of the vote. So thank you for that. Right, now when I say the musicals that I've been to, I haven't been to that many. There was generally, it was only things that I saw either at school, in my teenage years, and back then that would have been before auto-tune anyway. So everything that I've heard is pre digital pitch correction or auto-tune live. And I've seen, I guess more recently, The Sound of Music. It's all absolutely fine. So I don't go to the theatre a lot. That's what I've said, what I have seen, and it hasn't been a lot, but all I can say is what I've seen hasn't been. And I think it would start to be obvious. I think maybe some people would record it saying, well, this sounds a bit weird, this vocal that's going on. But anyway, we are going to be jumping into my version of Iris. Then we will see where we are at 391 likes. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. We'll bust out the guitar and have a jam. Certainly not using modes or Locrian mode as mentioned earlier. So we will jump into my version of Iris. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
Well, I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your life. When sooner or later it's over, I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. Whenever there's a made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. Whenever there's a made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am.
And there we have it. That was my version of the Goo Goo Dolls classic Iris. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Right, now I should have turned on the laptop really to get organised for this particular Phil Jam, but let's see what's going on here. Karen donated £4.65, so thank you for that. Messages: Phil, are you feeling cold as in literal? Bruh, you're all covered up. How's the weather by you? Where I live in New York, there's a blizzard warning and 13 to 18 inches of snow forecasted. Have you ever experienced blizzard? Stay safe and comfortable, Karen. So thank you for that. Not in England, blizzards or anything like that. When I was, I don't know how old I was here. I'm going to say maybe in my late teens or early 20s, we went skiing. And I wasn't very good at skiing, but I could go. Gravity did most of the work, so I could go down the slope very quickly, actually, and probably very dangerously. But I think, at some points, I'm not sure whether there's a blizzard or not, but you get a whiteout, which means that you can't really see anything because the snow kind of blowing in your face and going everywhere. So dangerous conditions to be in, and it always. I guess it always depended on your plans and thinking, oh, should we go over the other side of the slopes going there? But then you think, well, the weather's maybe getting a bit bad, so we'll just stay on this side and stay safe. So a bit risky in conditions, but I don't know whether that's a blizzard or not. So I probably haven't experienced a proper blizzard, just lots of snow and wind. I don't know how you categorize it, but the weather here is probably around 5 degrees Celsius, maybe a little bit warmer than that, between 5 and 10 degrees Celsius. But of course, I'm indoors, so it's not super cold, but still, it's not super warm either. Hence, I got the hoodie on. This is not summer. But anyway, right. There's just been another donation quickly. Glenda's donated £10, so thank you for that. The messages. Appreciate you with some rock horns. So thank you for that. And we are going to be jumping into this Phil Jam. Now, let's see how long this is. 5 minutes. Oh, we're going to get away with it. Okay, let's turn that on so we can actually hear the guitar in the first place. Right, that is that. This is progressive rock guitar ballad backing track in E minor, and then in brackets King Crimson style, and it's from Now You Shred backing tracks. So we'll see how this sounds. Can't do a lot about the levels. Let's zoom out, as Hillary just said in the live chat room. Yes, I'm listening to this through laptop speakers, so it's not particularly clear, and the volume could be all over the place, but that's the point. It's live. Who cares? Let's have a listen. Hopefully you can hear it. going on for. And there we go, that is it. It's going to be the end. So, yeah, the problem there was the tab that was playing was behind the other window. So it wasn't actually showing me anyway. So that's why I didn't know how long was to go. I couldn't actually see the video while that was playing. But that was Progressive Rock Guitar Ballad Backing Track in E minor, in brackets, King Crimson style. It's from Now You Shred Backing Tracks. So there we go. And that's what it was. I wasn't playing any scales or any modes. But if you want to run through all of that I was just playing and attribute the scales and modes to it, then you are more than welcome to do that. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Joe, for sending me that. And yeah, what was that? Field Jam number 306. We're definitely getting through them. And thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It is very much appreciated. And I will be here, of course, on Tuesday with another live stream. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. It really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow. We'll keep an eye on things and see what happens with the subscriber count. Maybe it will go up a little bit more. Who knows? But it's one of those things. We're just slaves to the algorithm, as every person on YouTube is, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, I'll be here with another video tomorrow night, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time. So look out for that one. It is going to be an interesting one because it's very much related to a video I did recently that was on something that I guess got a lot of press coverage, and not from my channel, but I mean people reporting on it and saying something about a particular performance, and it's going to be the person that did that, but then in another scenario. And yeah, unfortunately things aren't quite as they seem in the video that we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow night. But yeah, make sure that you check that one out. It's going to be released at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time tomorrow, which is Sunday night. So all that's left for me to say is that I'm going to jump into the super chat window because we had a donation or two in there. Diane donated $2. Thank you for that, and says a beautiful cover as always. And then Everett has donated $1.49. So thank you for that. And that's a picture of what looks like a unicorn. And yeah, technically not a Pegasus. So thank you for the donations. Of course, you don't have to donate, but they are very much appreciated. Now, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rock!